The Federation and members of ECO-6 region have been holding virtual summits in the past few months discussing ways to eliminate Africa's debt, the stimulus package and the introduction of a digital currency called the Lumi. Now joining us again for this conversation is Queen Sheba III. So you were telling us a bit about this currency, the Lumi currency. Tell us a bit more about why this currency is needed, this digital currency.
This digital currency is needed. It is the time. You know, everything has its time to become. The Lumi currency, it's long in coming. It's come from Lumi, luminous, the sun. When you think about the African countries, Africa is the most beautiful, magnificent, and the most powerful continent on this planet. It is the home of all of the nations and the people born of the earth. And yet no African currency can be used outside of Africa. When we look at the South, all of the South, be it Africa, be it the ECO-6 community, which is the nation states and territories of the Americas and wherever the diaspora are around the world. Most of the countries and islands we cannot use, there is no currency that we can use outside. We're about to open the open market, the African open market. We must have a currency that equates to the needs of Africa, that can fulfill what is needed, and the diaspora, that we have something that is solid, that can be used by the people in the new era. We cannot go into another era at the back door or at the bottom of the whole monetary chain. We cannot. We have to do better. We have the potential, we have the possibility, and Africa is an adult. It's a continent. So therefore, it's very important. It's not isolating other countries, but it's saying it's time for Africa. It's time we silence the guns and we silence the hunger. We are going through a pandemic. If we have to go through as Africa any further, that we cannot use the money, the value of the money of Africa is nothing. It's a part of the fiat. The fiat is going to be obsolete by 2040. So therefore, we must come together as Africa, and the ECO-6 is an integral part of Africa. It's a sixth economic community. We have the wealth, the most wealth on this planet. Over 30% is in Africa. So therefore, and we have the sun. So if we put the energy and if we put the wealth together, which we have, then we have something that should have been there already to eradicate poverty from the vocabulary of the African continent and to support the African nations and governments in now exercising their functions as government to see that Africa is head and not tail and working with the other countries, contributing with the other countries, isolating none, but working in unity with all. So the currency, it is time. 2020 may be the time that we have seen the pandemic, but 2020 is also the sign of clarity of vision, and it is time. The diaspora has come together. I said, we are the children born outside. We are from the outside, yet we are from the inside. And when you come together and unite as the children and the people of Africa, then we have something so invincible that we have a better legacy to leave to our children, and we can stop the hunger, we can stop what is happening in the settlements, we can change the course of African history. So the Lumi, which is for the sun, it is important because we are the children of the sun. We are of this continent. And I cannot think of a better name than the African Kingdom's Lumi, because it is our heritage, it's who we are, and it's who we stand for before the Almighty.
So oftentimes when talking digital in terms of currencies, we still have places in Africa where there's no bandwidth or telecoms infrastructure, not to mention access to mobile phones or tablets. How do we get past this?
We have been having the summits every Monday since the 5-day summit we have in September. And the purpose was to roll out and show to the attendees from government, from the captains of the industry, what we are doing towards this agenda. And one of it is also seeing 2 projects which we will be financing ourselves for the different internet facilities within the most rural regions. We are busy with the transport system. One of them is the fantastic string transport skyway and the linear cities from Weber, all of these places. So we are going into the rural regions. When the rural region have the basic of transportation, it means the farmers in those regions have now the facilities to get their goods from A to Z. So therefore, you have then that potential to now develop self and start eradicating poverty. So we are busy on that. We will be seeing to the facilitation of the internet and Wi-Fi. We are going to have discussions as well on providing the cell phones. And most important, when we can roll out the Lumi and have the supply chain using the Lumi, it has the stores using the Lumi alongside the currencies within Africa, it means the economic community themselves will live up to their obligation and see within their county, within their district, within their areas that they reach out to their people. Because now you have your people that have, alongside their salaries, what they're earning, they each have a $100 equivalent of rands in their pocket every 28th of the month. It means economics is growing. So therefore, it is in the interest of the economic community or the economic sector to come together, register for the merchants account, see that the people can use the AKL in their different establishments. And with that, we can now expand even more the internet facilitations, because it helps not just the people to get online for the Lumi, but it also helps facilitates for the schools and whatever is needed in this digital era.
Now, as we wrap up our conversation, I want to find out the link between the Lumi and mitigating against climate change. We live in an era where many places in South Africa and elsewhere in the world are devastated by climate-related disasters.
One of the biggest agenda is it is climate change. It is important because now we have the Lumi, and the Lumi is based on the energy and the gold underneath the soil of Africa. So therefore now we can now address realistically climate change. We can now see for the housing that is needed for the people away from the danger zones. We can see for the curbing of people using the firewood to the cutting down the trees. We can see to eliminating the alien plants that is now being such a big problem in Africa. So climate change, the Sustainable Development Agenda, the SDGs, all of that, we can now finance by Africa because we have the finance to get it done. We have it, we have been building on the Lumi for quite some time, and now we are ready to roll it out. So all of the different agendas that we have been showing every Monday, and we will keep every Monday until 2023, it's towards seeing to climate change, seeing that we access deep-seated water and surface water, seeing that we introduce the energy that is needed, and this in support of the governments. There's no one having to pay us back because the energy is by the Almighty God, it's free, and so is the goal under our feet. We met it here, and we do not need to take it out, we just need to peg it against the currency. So the currency is there, and we can start working together. What we need is for the economic community to join hands and see that we roll out the AKL, the African Kingdoms Lumi, throughout the economic community. So everyone so far who has already gotten the Lumi in October, November, and soon this December can start shopping and doing whatever is needed, especially now with this pandemic.
That was Queen Sheba III, the head of the African Federation Kingdoms, speaking to us about the elimination of debt in Africa and the diaspora and the Lumi digital currency.